Lovecraft's cosmic horror. Why your masculine problems don't matter. You're lying awake at 3 in the morning, consumed by anxiety about your career, your relationships, your purpose as a man. Your mind races through endless scenarios of failure and inadequacy. But what if I told you that H.P. Lovecraft, the master of cosmic horror, discovered something that could instantly dissolve every masculine insecurity you've ever had? What if the very thing that terrified him most could become your greatest source of liberation? Tonight, I'm going to take you on a journey into the abyss of cosmic horror, where your deepest fears about masculinity will be transformed into your most profound freedom. Because once you truly understand what Lovecraft saw when he gazed into the infinite darkness of space, you'll never worry about being man enough again. Picture this. You're standing on a beach at midnight, waves crashing in the darkness. Above you, billions of stars stretch across the cosmos. In that moment, do your relationship problems matter? Does your struggle to be the perfect provider, protector, or performer carry any weight in the face of such incomprehensible vastness? This is where Lovecraft's horror begins, and where your masculine liberation starts. Howard Phillips Lovecraft spent his life crafting tales of cosmic terror, stories where human beings encountered forces so vast and alien that their very existence rendered human concerns meaningless. His characters didn't just face monsters, they faced the crushing realization that humanity itself was insignificant in the grand scheme of the universe. But here's what most people miss. This wasn't just horror, it was philosophy. It was liberation. The central theme of Lovecraft's work is what philosophers call cosmic insignificance, the idea that human affairs are utterly meaningless when viewed against the backdrop of infinite time and space. Your ancestors lived and died, loved and suffered, built empires and watched them crumble, all while floating on a tiny rock, hurtling through an endless void. And somehow, in the face of this incomprehensible reality, you're worried about whether you're masculine enough. Think about the masculine pressures crushing you right now. The need to be financially successful in a rigged economic system. The pressure to be emotionally stoic while navigating an increasingly complex world. The expectation to be physically strong, mentally sharp, and socially dominant. These demands feel overwhelming because you're trapped in the human-scale perspective, where these things seem monumentally important. But Lovecraft's cosmic horror reveals a different truth. When you zoom out to the cosmic scale, when you consider the age of the universe, the vastness of space, the eventual heat death of all existence, every human concern becomes equally insignificant. The CEO and the janitor, the alpha and the beta, the successful and the struggling, all are equally meaningless specks of consciousness temporarily flickering in an indifferent cosmos. This should terrify you. It should drive you mad with existential dread. That's exactly what happened to Lovecraft's characters when they glimpsed this cosmic truth. But here's the paradox that will change your life. Once you fully accept your cosmic insignificance, you become completely free from the human-scale anxieties that have been torturing you. If nothing ultimately matters, then nothing can truly harm you. If your masculine performance is meaningless on the cosmic scale, then you're free to stop performing. If your status, your success, your social validation are all equally insignificant, then you can stop desperately seeking them and start creating meaning on your own terms. This is the liberation hidden within Lovecraft's horror. His character, Richard Upton Pickman, didn't just paint monsters. He painted the truth that lies beneath the veneer of human importance. When you see through that veneer, when you accept the cosmic perspective, you gain something invaluable, complete freedom from the opinions and expectations of other humans. But let me ask you something that might shake you to your core. What if the masculine ideal you're chasing is just another human construct, as arbitrary and meaningless as any other cultural invention? What if the very concept of being a man is nothing more than a temporary arrangement of social expectations, destined to be forgotten when our species goes extinct? The cosmic horror perspective doesn't just free you from masculine anxiety, it frees you from the need to justify your existence through any external metric. You don't need to be the strongest, richest, or most successful man. You don't need to dominate other men or impress women. You don't need to fulfill anyone's expectations of what masculinity should look like, because in the grand cosmic scheme, none of it matters. This might sound nihilistic, but it's actually the opposite. When you're no longer enslaved by the need to prove your worth as a man, you can finally start living as yourself. When you're no longer terrified of failing to meet masculine expectations, you can take risks and pursue genuine interests. When you're no longer seeking validation from a society that will forget you existed, you can create authentic meaning. Lovecraft's characters often went insane when they encountered cosmic truth because they couldn't let go of their human-scale importance. They clung to their small human dramas, even after seeing the vast indifference of the universe. But you have a choice they didn't. You can embrace the insignificance and find freedom in it. Consider the ancient great old ones from Lovecraft's mythology, being so vast and alien that human minds cannot comprehend them. From their perspective, the difference between a successful alpha male and a struggling outcast is as meaningless as the difference between 2 grains of sand on an infinite beach. This perspective doesn't diminish you, it equalizes everything. The most profound realization is this: if your problems don't matter on the cosmic scale, then neither do anyone else's. The men you compare yourself to, the society that judges you, the women whose approval you seek, they're all equally insignificant cosmic accidents. This levels the playing field completely. No one has any more inherent importance than anyone else. But here's where it gets philosophically interesting. Once you accept cosmic insignificance, you paradoxically become more significant on the human scale. When you're no longer desperate for validation, you become more attractive. When you're no longer afraid of failure, you become more capable of success. When you're no longer performing masculinity, you can embody authentic strength. The horror and the liberation are 2 sides of the same coin. Lovecraft saw the horror because he couldn't let go of human importance. But you can see the liberation by embracing cosmic irrelevance. Your relationship problems don't matter because relationships themselves are temporary arrangements between temporary beings. Your career struggles don't matter because careers are recent human inventions in the cosmic timeline. This doesn't mean you should become passive or nihilistic. It means you can engage with life from a position of freedom rather than desperation. You can pursue goals because they interest you, not because you need them to prove your worth. You can form relationships because you enjoy them, not because you need them to validate your masculinity. Let me pose another mind-bending question. If you truly accepted that your masculine insecurities were cosmically meaningless, how would you live differently starting tomorrow? What would you do if you were completely free from the need to prove yourself as a man? The cosmic horror perspective reveals that masculinity itself is just another human game, like chess or football. You can choose to play it or not, to take it seriously or not, to excel at it or not. But you can never be diminished by failing at a game that has no ultimate significance. The universe doesn't care if you're an alpha or a beta, a provider or a dependent, a leader or a follower. This is the ultimate masculine freedom, the freedom from masculinity itself. Not the rejection of masculine qualities, but the liberation from the desperate need to prove them. When you're no longer enslaved by masculine expectations, you can express masculine qualities naturally and authentically, without the anxiety and desperation that make them unattractive. Lovecraft's cosmic entities are often described as existing outside of human categories and understanding. They're neither male nor female, neither good nor evil, neither important nor unimportant by human standards. They simply are. And in their indifference to human concerns, they reveal the possibility of a different way of being. You can exist like a cosmic entity in your own life, present and engaged, but not attached to the human dramas that seem so important to others. You can participate in society without being enslaved by its expectations. You can pursue masculine development without being terrorized by masculine inadequacy. The key insight is that cosmic insignificance doesn't make life meaningless. It makes artificial meanings powerless. When you're no longer afraid of cosmic irrelevance, you can create genuine personal meaning. When you're no longer seeking cosmic importance, you can find authentic human connection. When you're no longer performing for the universe, you can be yourself with others. This philosophical shift changes everything about how you approach masculine challenges. Dating becomes exploration rather than validation seeking. Career becomes creative expression rather than status competition. Physical fitness becomes self-care rather than dominance display. Social interaction becomes authentic exchange rather than performance anxiety. The horror that Lovecraft wrote about, the horror of realizing that human concerns don't matter, becomes the foundation of genuine confidence. Because once you know that nothing ultimately matters, you're free to make anything matter on your own terms. You're free to create your own values, pursue your own interests, and define your own version of masculinity. But here's the final paradox that will complete your transformation. The man who has transcended the need to be masculine often becomes the most attractive kind of man. Women are drawn to men who aren't desperately seeking their approval. Other men respect men who aren't competing for status. Society values individuals who aren't performing for validation. Think about the most magnetic men you've ever encountered. They usually share one quality. They seem to operate by their own internal compass rather than external expectations. They're present and engaged, but not needy or desperate. They're confident, but not because they've proven their masculinity, because they've transcended the need to prove it. This is what lies on the other side of Lovecraft's cosmic horror. Not madness, but sanity. Not nihilism, but freedom. Not meaninglessness, but the power to create authentic meaning. The cosmic perspective doesn't destroy your masculinity. It liberates it from the prison of human expectations and allows it to express itself naturally. The universe is vast, ancient, and indifferent to your human struggles. This is either the most terrifying truth you'll ever encounter or the most liberating. The choice is yours. You can cling to the human-scale drama of masculine performance and suffer the endless anxiety it creates, or you can embrace the cosmic perspective and find freedom in insignificance. Your problems with confidence, success, relationships, and social status are real on the human scale, but they're also temporary, arbitrary, and ultimately meaningless. Once you truly understand this, not just intellectually but experientially, you'll find yourself living with a kind of relaxed confidence that no amount of masculine achievement could ever provide. The cosmic horror reveals that you were never inadequate as a man because the very concept of adequacy is a human invention. You were never failing at masculinity because masculinity is just a game you can choose to play or not. You were never less than other men because all distinctions between humans fade to nothing against the backdrop of infinite space and time. This doesn't make you weak or passive. It makes you free. Free to pursue what genuinely interests you. Free to connect with others authentically. Free to express masculine qualities without the desperate need to prove them. Free to be yourself in a universe that doesn't care who you are. And that's exactly why you can be anyone you choose to be. When you look up at the stars tonight, remember that your masculine anxieties are smaller than the smallest speck of cosmic dust. Let this thought terrify you for a moment. Then, let it liberate you completely. Because once you've stared into the abyss of cosmic insignificance and emerged with your sanity intact, nothing in the human world can ever truly threaten you again. If this cosmic perspective has shifted something fundamental in how you see your masculine struggles, if you're ready to embrace the liberation that lies hidden within existential horror, then subscribe to this channel for more philosophical explorations of what it means to be human in an inhuman universe. Like this video if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the pressure to prove your masculinity and want to find a different way forward. The cosmic horror isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace, because on the other side of that horror lies the most profound freedom any man can ever experience, the freedom from the need to be anything other than exactly who you are.